Hey Yarnchix, this is Mimi reporting from Berlin Wedding. It's episode number 42 and I welcome you to this quirky, woolly, knitterly sewing corner of the YouTube channels. My podcast is called Yarnchix Podcast, mainly because I ended up playing so many games of Yarn Chicken, I realized I was a proper Yarnchix. And I just kind of wanted to embrace that thing of being a bit quirky and wordsy. So it's Yarnchix with an X at the end, but referring to a group of yarn chicken game playing woolly hens. I have a Patreon page where you can support my art, my filmmaking and my zine. There's always lots of content coming. I'm just kind of sneaking out of the summer break. We had 6 weeks of school holiday after 3 months of Corona school closure, because we had like 3 hours of school for the month just before the holiday. It was shambles, so I'm really ready, set, go for content production. And today I have brought lots of knitting and some sewing and some mending and a new zine. So I welcome you here to this, let's say, 45 minutes, 1 hour episode. I always kind of ease in with a little visual intro, and I hope this gives you a bit of an idea of what's coming. Glimpses of this, that and the other. You probably saw there's quite a lot of fabric and paper content this time, so I hope you enjoyed that. I generally knit daily. I mend as often as I can bring myself to do it. It is a mountain of stuff that needs fixing, but I am super chuffed that one of my kind of favorite mends and makes has held up, so I haven't had to double mend. I'm very proud of that. My daughter is actually wearing it, so I don't know why I've mentioned it because I can't show it, but yes. And on that note, I'm extremely excited to chat about the Magic 3 make along. It's a make along. This happens in Berlin a lot, so I'm really sorry. Fire brigade outside. Or probably not a fire brigade, but an ambulance or police officer. So Magic 3 make along is a make along where we make 3 items for children in our lives, or friends' children, or yeah, we can gift the items separately. There's no, it doesn't have to be a set that's set as a set forever. We make a top, some bottoms and a toy. And this year I've opened up this special extra sideline, which is all mending, upcycling, hand-me-downs that you kind of embellish with whatever your ideas are. Unraveled sweaters made into new items. There's this whole corner of potential where, when you finish a whip, and which is like a work in progress that you've had for a long time, and it's been asking you to give it attention and you didn't do that, you might have to unpick it because your child has grown immensely. This is me. And whatever this work in progress, as in knitwear, like dropped halfway through the finishing process, is gonna be way too small, so you need to restart. Any of these kind of projects qualify for an extra price, which I'm knitting for you this time, and I'm gonna cast that on like this weekend. It needs to happen because I want to show it and I want to entice you in. I want you to feel excited to make, or let's say to remake, to mend, and to finish those loitering beasts of works in progress. I'm gonna make an Isaura cape, which is a playful knitted cape, mainly purled, by the Portuguese designer Rosa Pomar. It was published in the Yarnchix zine, and I'm gonna go and show that to you now. Yeah. The cover color has recently changed because they didn't have the grey in the new printer, but any of you who have my zines will recognize this as issue number 3, Taking Flight. And in it I published an interview with Rosa Pomar, which I really loved. There is a photo love story from my visit with my friend Kat, and there is artwork and so on and so forth, and there is the knitting pattern for the Isaura cape. And as I've promised Rosa that as a thank you for letting me publish it in this zine, I would translate it to German. I might as well. So I'm kind of getting ready to cast that on as a price. And I have finished objects, especially for the Magic 3 Make Along, as well as a finished new zine. So I'm going to show that first before I go into kind of more adult knitting and works in progress, because I haven't finished anything for myself. The sweetest little items I finished was this pair of taxi booties. It is a pattern by Degen, or Baby Degen. She is a designer and creative based in America, and did a collaboration with Pearl Soho, which is a New York yarn store, and it is a pay for pattern through them. That's how I've purchased it, because I couldn't find it on her website, and I've had other friends after I posted about this say, I can't find the pattern, how do I locate the pattern? I guess the easiest way is either to write to the Baby Degen or Degen designer. I've blanked on her name. I'm gonna put her contact down here, or her webpage. As she sells them ready-made, her pattern is also on the website, but is a bit of a, I'm sorry, but is a bit of a visual, it's a bit difficult to maneuver. You will find it definitely maybe easier through the Pearl Soho website. Anyway, that's how I ended up finding it, and I'm still feel bad for not buying off the designer directly. But what's special about these booties from the Pearl Soho webpage is that you have this kind of checkerboard top, and I really like that actually. So In her pattern options that she sells on her webpage, she said that there is lots of more creative inputs how you can do what bit. So it's more like a freestyle recipe, which I love the sound of. Maybe I should just go and buy it and stop faffling and support her as well as through the Pearl Soho page. I used lots of Mondim yarn leftovers, which is also a Rosa Puma yarn, a sock yarn. I just love the color combo. The bottom of the socks, you hold 2 yarns double, and I chose the super bright yellow and kind of multicolored, rainbow colored of Mondim yarn. And I just think they're grand. And they go together in a set for Magic 3 Mile with this colorful saffron bubble vest. It's the popcorn vest pattern by Studio Misha and Puff, not Misha, by Studio Misha and Puff. And I used classic merino, which is a 50% merino, 50% cotton. And the company is called Mayflower. We sell this in both shops where I work in Berlin. I'm a shop assistant in yarn stores, and finally, I guess the Mayflower Vertreter, you know, the people that go from door to door and sell the yarn, must have visited both shops, and both shop owners decided to have this yarn in their yarn line. I especially like this super bright saffrony yellow, and it goes well with the booties. I think it's kind of crazy color combo. This obviously is yearning for a toy, and I have cast on several toys, but I'm not 100% sure which one it will be and when I will finish, because I have a bit of a knitting block when it comes to the toys. I hope to relieve it. I wonder if I'm gonna just sew toys in the end or make other things, but like I feel super itchy to finish a set just to share and join in the kind of finisher squad of our make along. There are so many really nice makers who've joined and so many lovely makes. I think in my next podcast, which will come at the end of August, early September, so kind of like 1 month before we close, I will start sharing some projects in the podcast. I'm mega happy that so many of the people have rejoined and that we're kind of moving along. I should add like a little block of going, what's happening to Ravelry is really, I'm really annoyed with how Ravelry officials have dealt with their inaccessibility, and people saying like, look, you've got to change this, and how they've reacted was very self-focused, and it kind of shows again, you know, our community is made up of so many characters, but there is also so much ego in the room, and it's like, come on, you know, just apologize, fix it, you know, be on a level of empathy and not this, oh, but we've paid for it and now we've made it, or you're just all it's just cancel culture, you're all just having a go. It's like, no, people actually do have issues with your visual design, and you have changed it and made it worse. So why the heck not go back to classic Ravelry? Yeah, you can change the setting. Yeah, but to go and change the settings, some people face such hurdles because of the kind of visual impact this new design has on them, that it's not fair, you know. Just change it back to the classic, and then, you know, it's just, honestly, I'm annoyed because I have this podcast and because I care for my community, and I do not want to put like this kind of massive barrier up for some people to come and join us in the chatter group. So I've decided to have a solution. In my Patreon page, there's the option to have free content and free chatter group, and there's actually a community side to it where you can comment and chat and all of this. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going to open up my Patreon page. There is still content there that the paid for members and the people in the community who cherish my art so much that they support it with kind of like financial boosts and chatter and care, all that's going to stay. So there will be, the paid for content for those people who are excited to support my blog and vlog and my zine. But there will be like free content, and it's all gonna be, whenever I have a knit along, I'm gonna use that page for chatter. I'm gonna just try it out with Magic 3 Ma as of now. So now that this podcast goes live, there will be several posts, probably, pictures of this and chatter, and I will try and ask some questions in it to maybe entice people to answer and communicate under these posts, because what Patreon has is basically this option to make a post. I write a lot, so there's always like words, but there's a whole comment section that will work just as an Instagram post, for example. Yet it's kind of more of a safe place. It's like my webpage where we can write to each other. And if people are happy for me to share their sets that they finished, we could do like share other people's makes and how they came about it. So I could run some kind of like interview chatter with each one of you. Like, let me know in the comments underneath this podcast, because I know a lot of my friendly, lovely Magic 3 Mile makers will come and watch this podcast. Thank you. You're also welcome to, put your ideas in. Maybe you do not want to go to yet another place, but maybe it'll be okay to divert, and instead of Ravelry chatter, Patreon chatter. No, you do not need to pay for this. That will be as I had run the Ravelry page. I will just be on there and chatter sometimes when I have the time, because I work too much. And it will be like a welcoming community place without any visual hurdles, I hope. Like, do comment if there is anything that I do that is somehow, putting a brick in the way or making it harder or my work less accessible. Yeah, so this was a kind of little spill for our Magic 3 make along, because I'm sad that the chatter that we usually would have, the healthy communication and the flow of in and out of our projects, is a bit icy this year. But it's no one's fault but Ravelry's mess up. So let's try and fix it, mend it up a bit. So I'm super excited to have more ideas and carry on with this. I have actually cast on, I can't even say that I've got it on my needles, but I've cast on for a second pair of baby booties by Degen for another friend. I just think it's kind of a fun pattern and it's munchy. But I'm using the needles for my second, kind of on the way of being finished sets, so I had to actually pull the needles out of this little cuff. But yeah, again Mondim, and now I'm mixing with Jawohl sock yarn from Lang. Yes, it's Rosa Pommard, and I'm just going for another color palette, and I'm super excited to do that. And we'll show you some close-ups of my set ideas before I introduce what's on my needles. So now you would have seen the other project. One sock is finished, and one sock is cast on. This is the Liss sock by Dawn Henderson, and I supported her on her Patreon and got this pattern for free through there. But she's recently shared an Instagram post with a very similar ribbed summer sock, and this cuff is really sweet because it's got bobbles all around it, which gives it kind of like a jagged edge. In this multicolored yarn by Phileas yarn, dyed by Sylvie. You can't really see the pattern, but I don't mind. I mean, it's so fun to knit, and I love this yarn, and I especially love it because look, I only have this much left, and I weighed this sock and it wasn't enough, so I had a bit of a knitting block because I was like, I've run out of yarn, I've messed up. Now my friend Hannah, who is Nakamili on Instagram, sent me the 15 grams of yarn that I will need to finish the second sock. Thank you so much, Hannah. I can't believe it. It's almost like a treasure I should wear like this until the time I cast it on or carry on knitting the sock with this. This is so kind of you. It was so helpful to know, okay, I can finish this project and I'm not going to be stuck, you know, losing super badly at Yarn Chicken. So I'm extra excited that I finally cast them on this week and that I'm spending that time finishing a project. I love Dawn's sock patterns, so I'm super happy I can make some summer socks for my daughter to wear in her trainers because she loves trainers. And it goes with the project that I chatted about lots in podcast episode 41, the parachute that I made my daughter. In this heat, she actually wears it when she comes home, and the other day she fell asleep on it on my arm wearing it in the evening, and it's just, I'm so happy she likes to wear it. I also sometimes wear it. I might add some pictures because I'm cheeky. I made it my size fittable as well. The only thing I didn't do according to the Stephen West pattern is I didn't add an I-cord on these kind of big armholes. And I'm thinking, because you might see it kind of flops and folds differently, I'm thinking to maybe add those and use this blue, or I have another kind of lighter blue even. I don't know, because I couldn't decide whether to make them white or natural colored, which is kind of like grey, silver, greyish. So I'm gonna think about that, but for now it's wearable and it's cute, and I love how she wears it. It's almost like a dress for her, and it's a really short normal top for me. Using Linomuka leftovers multicolored, which is another knit along that I host, and that I felt like I wanted to refer to as alongside the Magic 3 Make Along. Linomuka is like a yearly or like an annual knit along that I host, and this year was really special because 3 designs were kind of concocted and dreamt up, and I can't wait to knit the Rimimuta cardigan. I love it. Fräulein Städtisch, I'm going to put her Instagram handle down here. Julia created this. It's so cool with these pockets, and it's currently in the test knitting phase. I didn't join that because I'm so busy with Magic 3 Make Along and at work, but I will knit it once the design is finished. So cool. Then Mohair Linumuka both held together top called Frame by Chris Berlin. Chris Berlin knits is also a dear friend of mine here from Berlin, and she created the frame sweater in this really quirky, interesting way. You will see in the photos and glimpses I'm gonna share here, it's super interesting. The idea frame is that the kind of shoulder work gives a framework, and then you can highlight some colors, and it's all about how you melt the colors. There is an Instagram TV interview that I did with Chris about this design, so just head over to my Instagram and my TV channel there. There's some interesting stuff going on every now and then. And the third design was by Marianne, who is Marie Papillon. I'm gonna put her Instagram handle here, and she designed this really sweet striped summer top or t-shirt with these kind of block shirts, and I just remember her waiting patiently for the color Honey, especially, which is this super sunny, again saffrony yellow, to add to her white, mainly white top. And yeah, she published it on Ravelry, and I think she's had some really good feedback, and she was super excited when I said, you know, well done, your first pattern. And she's like, yeah, I know it's like a one size fits all, but I'm still super happy. And you know, she doesn't do this as her kind of profession, so it was more like she designed something for herself and people liked it, so she shared it, which I think is super kind and fun. So those three designs definitely need mentioning and deserve a lot of praise, and I'm excited that this year's Knit Along came with these patterns. Also Majesta, you would have seen, designed herself this short row fabulous holding the Linumuka, just one strand top skirt dress thing. It's amazing, and I so want to knit it. I'm waiting for her to maybe share some kind of video blogs content of how she came up with it, like a recipe, and I'm sure that will come. She had a bit of an Instagram break, which is fair enough. She does really good, well, let's say very creative color block design, and mainly her brush skirt. I mean, oh my god, you know, it's to die for. I met Majesta in Amsterdam, so yeah, she's the best. I love her. Actually, so all these four women are people I know and I met or I meet regularly, and that I really cherish their enthusiasm and involvement with. All of the people who joined in Linumuka I cherish dearly, because I know we're like a crazy bunch that love knitting with linen. It's very special, linen knitting, but it's worth it because you can wear these amazing things in summer and it's the best thing. So that Linumuka Kal and Magic 3 Mal chatter is over herewith, because I want to show you some more projects, and I'm talking faster and faster because I realize I have to head out to work in like 5 minutes. So I'm gonna quickly share what I'm knitting for myself, and I will film my zine thing later. close-up and maybe a bit of Bauwagen-y visual medley, sharing my soirée sweater project that I'm knitting myself. And look, I have already completed, it's a bit hard to show because it's kind of squashed on the needles. It's very boxy, and it has these cables running kind of from because it's kind of boxy and short, so it sits on the top of your jeans, like, you know, it will be like this, with the cable running from your pocket and this kind of hexagony thing runs up here, and then it carries on under your arm all the way into your sleeve, and the cables run over your shoulder and join with the cables that run from the back pocket. I don't know if this description makes any sense, but I'm so excited. This was yarn gifted to me by all my friends and bought at Edinburgh Yarn Festival when it was my 40th birthday, and that whole trip was a treat for my family, for me, and so many generous souls had collected and dedicated some money, or gifted me money, towards this sweater. And yes, I had a bit of a hiccup with it, so it was unraveled, and now I'm back on it. Unraveling is kind of the theme for this, because I started it when I still thought with my knitting I could kind of knit backwards or unknit time and make Brexit unhappen. There's no such thing as turning back time, is there? But I was trying to work with the time-space continuum in my mind. I'm a bit of a kind of geek in that way, that I think with our knit stitches we kind of create something that's in between time, because all the memories of the time whilst making this, all the thoughts for me are connected to the garment and the fiber. So somehow I expected I could kind of unravel or even undo my mind block with it. But no, I can't, you know, it's gonna happen. This New Year's is gonna go boom bash, and we're gonna have no UK in the EU. And, you know, I can't change it. I'm just here in Berlin, I'm just a bystander. But I'm gonna knit myself calmer through it, and maybe that is okay. You know, to have a knit project that helps me calm and that I can wear, and that is like a hug from friends and family. You know, woman needs not much to be happy in my case, and let's just see what happens. My activism definitely is in this top, even if that means just the conversations about it. So I'm very I know I'm treading on thin ice here, because I'm so shouty, I'm so loud about matters that I care about, and I often put it here in my podcast. That's okay, right? It's my space, so you're visiting me and you're visiting my mind and my mindset, so I know you know me, or that maybe you agree, maybe you don't, but that somehow it is okay. So yeah, knitted on my holiday by the lake, after I finished my fire bath build, which I will later on in this podcast. I've decided at the end I will put some of my other building and making projects. I'm super happy. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 repeats, so it's about 2 more repeats before I split for front and back, and so in the next podcast this will become more exciting than just a loop. And my alarm just went off, so I'm gonna go off to work, and I will be back here later. It's basically just an interlude for myself in my life. I'm gonna feed that interlude with a little glimpse of my zine, and then I will talk about my zine when I come home from work, or tomorrow morning, which will hopefully speed up the process that I can edit for us and then upload this weekend. Okay, see you later. time and what I filmed just then as a little kind of segue. And anyway, I just hope it makes sense because I had to have a little break. I went to work yesterday and then I had a really lovely sunny day today. It's Saturday and it's the first day of school for so many children here in Berlin. So I got to celebrate birthday and first day of school with my friend Yvonne for her and her little daughter. So yeah, I've had a really nice day sitting out in the sun in her sweet little garden and yeah, chatter and catching up with friends, which was really nice. I mentioned mend earlier, and as it was worn on Friday in school, I couldn't show it, but it is here. Basically, this is Sweet Bobo Chooses romper or jumpsuit, and it was caught in a tree whilst climbing early on this year around April or May, and there was this kind of L-shaped tear. I don't know if you can see it, probably can. I didn't mend it with like the idea that you cannot see it. I used a cotton ribbon, maybe on this side I will show. I used this cotton ribbon and then I reinforced it with some embroidery stitches. This has been worn and it has had several washes and I'm super pleased with how it's holding up. There is no more tearing, and I thought potentially it would just tear again and keep tearing, and now this was kind of like a soft spot in the fabric, so I'm hoping it will hold up for much longer because or at least for the summer, and then it will go into a hand-me-down box. But it seems to fit perfectly now, and I'm super into mending and want to achieve more, especially if the outcome is positive as this. So I thought I'll just share it because I mentioned it before. I have it here ready to actually show and share. I also wanted to share my recent swatch story, and then I will do kind of a mini unboxing clip and share some of the presents that are going into the big winner basket for the Magic 3 Make Along. So that's two things I still have on my list of things to do. I keep looking on my running order just to verify. And then last but not least, I want to introduce some glimpses of my zine. So for those of you who are interested, you can stay around for that. Story is using this super delicious Mocha yarn in a design by Jacqueline Cieslak, which was published in the Making Zine Simple, and it's in German we say Halbpatent. It's kind of a half brioche stitch, I think that's how you would say it in English, and a very airy and kind of loosely knit cardigan, which is also designed with a lot of positive ease. I'm super excited. I think I've got gauge, at least I think it looks really nice and airy, and you might be able to tell from the funky shape of my swatch, I'm gonna make a little teddy cardigan version for I think Ginger Bear will fit into this, or maybe it is so big that it will be Lala Peaches, who you can maybe spot here in the background. Let me see. Nope, it wouldn't fit her. That is not enough positive ease for this teddy. So, and Myrtle, maybe Myrtle Bear. Oh, again, not enough positive ease. I think it'll be Ginger Bear. She's not here right now, but I'll show that all in the next podcast. The swatch is knit on a 4mm needle, just as the pattern says, and the mocha yarn that I'm using here is a Romanian merino, and I have a lot of it in my stash, so I'm super excited to finally use that up and to have found the perfect pattern. The pattern is actually designed with this in mind, and then with an American yarn that is so far and far away from me, so I'm doing it with the mocha yarn, or I'm knitting it with the mocha yarn. I'm super excited, and this is like a urgent cast on for myself, because I think early autumn it'll be a lovely cardigan to wear, like one of those things that will make so much more sense as a staple garment than all my kind of crazy colourful knits. But let's see if I can rustle this one up. There is another thing, and I wanted to share some of the fabrics because I'm really getting into sewing, and there's a little clip at the end of this podcast. You will see how excitedly I'm getting ready to sew some more. And so with that in mind, I ordered some fabrics from let's see, Serafina. So Polar Spranger has a shop in Lule, which is in Portugal, and I ordered some fabrics, and she really kindly donated some yarns, yarny treats towards the Magic 3 Mile prize, so I'm super excited about that. I chose some really nice summery floral and very light cotton fabrics. This one is from Art Gallery Fabrics, and it's a 100% cotton, and I really like this light blue print. I want to make a shirt from it for myself, and I was so happy to find some really sweet patterned fabrics in the Retrosaria Serafina shop, which is, I guess, a local yarn store in Lule, Portugal, but also an online business. Sorry, now my dog is barking a bit. And the second cotton that I ordered was this really funky 1920-ish, I think it reminds me of 1920 floral patterns. It's with a rose and with these kind of fans on the side, but it has kind of like a broken linear pattern. And I hope that this is enough for a little camisole top. I need to double check, but this is what I have in mind. If not, I'm gonna use it for some of my hand stitched quilts, patchwork stuff that I'm planning and dreaming up. So it was definitely a pattern I couldn't go past. Very florally patterny fabrics. And last but not least, striped linen fabric from Wollen Berlin, where I work, and this is the wider striped pattern. There is a thin stripes and a stripes, so tiny stripes we call it, and stripes pattern. And I want to sew the estuary skirt by Sew Liberated in this linen fabric. I'm excited. Not sure if I'm gonna start with that. I have lots of fabrics cut out from last summer's attempt at getting into sewing, so I'm gonna wait with these and practice with some masks. I'm gonna let Marie in because this is gonna be ridiculous. Sorry. So I've let her into the room, and I think she's gonna calm down now she hasn't got as much to complain about. I hope. I don't know, maybe it's me talking to the camera that's confusing her. So, what else came in that parcel from Paula? I can't tell you. It's the most gorgeous, gorgeous yarns. And I filmed the unboxing just as I was letting Marie in. So, I must say, Paula, who owns Retrosaria Serafina, is a plant dyer as well, and she dyes on these really nice natural bases, and I really love this. The yarn is originally from Italy, and it is a sport weight, 100% Apeninica, so I guess it is like a wool, like an Italian wool, and it was hand dyed with natural fibers in Portugal, and it's a really lovely sunny yellow. There is this beautiful indigo dyed light fingering weight, again 100% wool, this time merino, and the origin of the yarn is Spain. It is a single yarn, so I wonder how much yardage you have. Oh, it doesn't say the yardage, but I can look that up on the Serafina web online shop, on the Serafina webpage, and put the yardages down here in kind of like an info box, so you know I absolutely love this. So sweet. Last but not least, this is a BFL Matam blend. It's a UK yarn, and the color is super gently purple and has little moments of yellow. It's so beautiful. I'm not sure if I will be able to let go of this one. It's so pretty, but in any case, it's dedicated to the Magic 3 Make Along. Maybe I should just kind of knit it up into something that I gift, because it feels so squishy and delicious, and I just wanna knit something with this beautiful color and see it all unfold. I know that is a bit cheeky, but thank you so much, Paula, for these amazing contributions. I'm honored, and I will make up my mind how to. I'll definitely wrap them up nicely again, and we will have so many more treats coming in for Magic 3 Make Along. You won't believe it. There's already been a delivery of this sweet bag by Anya. It's a print with a little mole, and it just reminded me of Mary Molly, that I'm like super keen to knit, and it would be so fun to put all the yarns for little mole and the pattern and all of this in this bag, basically ready as a project bag for the winner to start a little mole by themselves, or for themselves, let's put it that way. So I'm super happy. There's gonna be more yarns and little goodies coming in, so watch this space. I will definitely put in the most recent zine so that you have a little bit of reading content, and there has been a little elf who's brought a little present. My friend Linda, who I also saw today, has really kindly organized a sweet storybook, and I thought that is like so kind of her. She's contributing it as a prize towards the big winner's basket of the Magic 3 Make-A-Lon, and it is a book by Joelle Gebhard, and it is entirely hand-stitched. It's the story of Mr. Button Man, and it's so great because it will work in all languages. It's basically a story that can be told by the adult to their children, And it's done in such a sweet way. It's kind of a collection of buttons and a lot of embroidery, and it's kind of told in this adventurous journey way. Just look at that cat. It's so cute. So thank you so much, sweet Linda, for contributing. There is actually it's a signed copy by the author, so I'm super chuffed to have a storybook or a kind of picture book in the mix, alongside hopefully more things gathering up. I always approach a couple of designers, so if you're watching and you're a designer and you want to contribute one of your patterns as a PDF file, that would be super cool. Or if you're a maker or yarn dyer, get in touch. I'd love to gather some treats for makers. As I promised, I wanted to share my latest zine with you. It's the last thing in this podcast because I know it's a bit advertising and I know that not everybody's into that kind of stuff, but I make this and it's a really it's a heart project because it's self-publishing, knitterly thoughts and knitterly inputs, and the political side of our making is at the forefront of the zine. This is issue number 7 and it's called Dotter. It's all about core values, and again I've had the sweetest Caro draw more of her amazing woolly hens throughout the zine, and she answered some questions. She answered some questions about what knitting means to her with her drawings, which I loved. It's kind of one of my columns where I approach different makers and ask them what knitting means to them. And I was super excited to ask her. There is an interview with Ruta of Wollen about her linen yarn, Linomuka. Like this Linomuka knit along. I knitted this for my daughter and I sometimes wear it. And this amazing centerfold by Ni, who is the mock tortoise. I absolutely love it. I've got the original and it is above my bed, and it just makes me feel so, it makes me feel me. This is so at the core of my value. Well, Ni just sort of captured that so well. I'm super excited she contributed, and we have a story and recipes and things, but also in this copy there is a knitting pattern. This time Josh contributed her contrast cowl. Josh is Breiwerken, Josh Moll, and she's a sweet designer from Holland, and she has supported me, my art, from the get-go, and I really love and cherish our friendship. And she designed this amazing contrast cowl. I'm gonna grab it so I can show you that before the light goes. But I'm super happy I got to show or share the pattern in the zine, and I hope that I translated it readably into my kind of typewriter aesthetics, and that maybe we can start a little contrast cowl knit along once Magic 3 Make Along is finished. I'd absolutely love to knit this again alongside of you. Please let me know in the comments below if this is something you would love to do as well. Here it is in all its beauty. It was her design and yarny treat for the Magic Yarn Ball Swap 2018, I think, and I was lucky that she was assigned with me as her mate and sent me this, and it's this amazing mohair knitted with Hull Super Soft, and it's the most delicious cowl I ever knitted. I absolutely adore it and wear it every winter, even under other scarves. It's definitely one of those things that I love wearing, so I'm gonna be super chuffed to knit another one, because maybe I will knit it slightly longer so I can wear it like a snooty thing that becomes like a hat. This winter, I think I'm thinking blue and pink version, so I'll see. Just comment below if you're into the idea of a knit along, and seek out my zine in some way or the other. I think my Etsy shop should be uploaded in the coming week, launching Wednesday the 20th of August, I reckon, because I need some time preparing with photographs and stuff. But yeah, it's out there, it's been sent to all the contributors and it's been sent to all the subscribers, so I'm super chuffed that I managed to produce this in a busy holiday time, and I think you will like it because I absolutely love it. So I always hope people like it as much as just a little corner or fraction of my enthusiasm for these pages. I know it's quirky and I know it's out there, but it's 100% me, and it's 100% from my heart, something I try and give to the community. So I hope the community finds it and likes it and enjoys it as much as me. Upcoming zine. For now, there will be a zine available this week, and I'm thankful you visited me. Hang around for some glimpses of Shepherd's Hut, of unboxing, of makerly madness, as well as a little tarot knit oracle. Thank you for your time and thank you for your visit. I'm happy you made it. I'm happy you found me, and I hope I'm mumbling. I'm super happy you stayed all the way until this last moment. As the sun is fading here in Berlin, I say goodbye and take care. Make sure you look after yourself and your dear ones, and keep on making and unmaking. See you later. Bye.